News coming in, a story that we've been tracking since the beginning of the show. Inflation figures are out for the month of March, and we see a 1.4% increase in consumer price index, which measures inflation, recording a sharp rise for a second consecutive month to 12.8% from 11.4% recorded in February, recording an increase in the prices of goods and services across the nation. It's the highest recorded in the last 4 years. A food index increased about the same percentage margin, 1.4% to 12.7%, following increase in major food groups which contribute to the sub-index, including transportation costs, the planting season, and foreign exchange movements. For our core index, we see it up 1.1% to 12.2%. Another story we're tracking and happening right now is how easy it is to raise capital. Of course, more and more investors and businesses are looking at opportunities of raising capital to grow their investment and other opportunities where they find themselves. There's been an option of taking a cross-border listing, and so we'll be talking to the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Oscar Onyema, to tell us more about the opportunities in cross-border listings. So good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining me on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, Nigeria's stock market has seen mixed sentiments from domestic and international investors. How would you assess global appetite for frontier market investments?
As you're aware, the global markets are going through a cycle right now, especially in light of the commodity price shocks we're seeing. So there's been a rotation out of frontier and emerging markets into more developed markets, primarily U.S. markets. But as you know, these cycles don't last for long. So the opportunity is now and it's present where you can actually take advantage of the down cycle to prepare for the up cycle, which would inevitably come.
Well, executing a dual listing between London and Lagos looks very promising. Are there opportunities to streamline the listing process and requirements?
There are. In fact, we did significant work with the London Stock Exchange before the listing of Seplat. As you're aware, we signed an agreement with the London Stock Exchange in 2014 to jointly develop African markets for dual listings. Since then, we've done a lot of work to streamline the processes, to harmonize the listing standards, and to allow for real fungibility across both markets. It is critical to point out that corporates who want to look at this, especially corporates that are looking to internationalize their operations, corporates that are looking to diversify their risk across geographies, across investor categories, and to really, for the long run, take advantage of the opportunities that the dual listing provides to reduce the cost of raising equity capital.
Well, the theme for this event is leveraging cross-border capital markets for sustainable growth. That's the NSE-LSE dual listing conference. What does this actually mean?
Well, what it really means is that if you are in one clime, and as you're aware, macroeconomics affect everything that happens within that clime. So to the extent that you're listed across borders, you're able to dampen the volatility and dampen the risk, manage the risk better with regards to macroeconomic shocks. Another reason why you would want to consider cross-border listing as a way of making sure your business is sustainable is what I said earlier on, where if you have diversification across the investor categories that hold your shares, you tend to have more stability in those shares. Finally, what we're trying to do is, as you know, this effort is not geared only towards Nigeria, it is geared towards the entire continent. We want to provide a platform for corporates that are fast-growing, that are driven by some type of entrepreneurial knack to really be able to raise capital and get the benefits of listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and on the London Stock Exchange to drive that growth.
But then, do you have an agenda, for instance, for Pan-Africa cross-border listings?
Precisely. So the idea is, as an exchange, we want to help to drive the economic growth of the continent. We want to help to catalyze the emergence of the next group of African champions, companies that have $1 billion or more in market capitalization. And this is driven from the fact that if you look at our exchange, a number of the companies that are listed on the exchange actually emanated from the vision and the drive of their founders and have grown to become international companies today, operating across the continent and in some cases across the globe. And so we want to accelerate the growth of such companies and to take it from tens of companies to thousands of companies. And we believe that our partnership with the London Stock Exchange gives us a very compelling platform to drive that. As you know, we listed Seplat last year as part of the very first IPO on the back of this agreement, and it met with significant success. And we've had a lot of companies come to talk to us about replicating that success by going through the same proven pathway that Seplat has opened. And so what we're really trying to accomplish is to spread the news, is to continue to fine-tune the processes and procedures for taking advantage of this dual listing opportunity, so that the experience of corporates that actually decide to go through is one that continues to get improved upon. I must also point out that corporates that go through this route typically benefit in the sense that they have better branding, better corporate governance, higher valuations, deeper liquidity in their individual stocks. And we find this to be true from empirical studies. We find it to be true from the Seplat experience that we've had so far. If you look at that share, in spite of the volatility that the equity markets have faced, it has held up pretty well.
Well, thank you so much, Oscar Oyema, for joining us on the program and giving us, shedding more light on that particular conference. Of course, the NSE, that's the Nigerian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange, is holding a dual listing forum in Lagos. And as Mr. Oyema has actually pointed out, the opportunities are immense, not just for the public, but private sector as well. Just before we finish off on the show today, the March inflation data is out. It's up 1.4%, beating analyst expectations. It was forecast that inflation will be coming in at 12.1%, but we see that 12.8%. Of course, the food index increased by the same percentage margin. We saw it coming in at 12.7%. And the core sub-index for the month also increased 1.1% to 12.2%. And most of the conversation I've had today has been that with a quick passage of the 2016 budget and, of course, easing in forex policies, then maybe, just maybe, inflation rate might begin to trend downwards. But that's it on today's edition of the program. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Harriet Agbenyi. Have a profitable day.